Okay. You don't have to write this down, but as a review from what we just looked at, like if I told you a line had a slope of 1/3 and a y-intercept of -4, what's the equation? Something?
Y equals 1/3 x times the y.
Right. If we just use this formula and we plug 1/3 in for the slope m and -4 in for b. So we get that. We've done questions like this. This is quite straightforward. Okay? So remember that when we have this formula, this means the slope. This means the y-intercept. And what are x and y? Well, x and y represent any point on the line. Any point on the line. It's just when we write the equation of a line, we don't write the specific numbers in for x and y because how many points are there on a line? Infinite. So we just leave it as x and y. Okay? But we're going to have to use x and y when we start looking at questions like this. So if I give you the slope and the y-intercept, pretty straightforward to find the equation. Plug your two numbers in, you're done. Okay? But what if I give you the slope and some other point on the line? Like this example. The slope is -3, and it goes through the point -2, 5. That's not the y-intercept. That's some other point that's on the line. Okay? I can still use this. What two pieces of information do I need to know to write the equation of the line? The slope and the y-intercept. Well, the slope, that's easy. It's -3. But the y-intercept, I'm going to have to do some math to find. Okay? So how do we find a point, or sorry, the y-intercept, or b? We have to use this to help us. Well, I know that this is -3. Remember what I said? X and Y represent a point on the line, right? So doesn't that mean, because I'm given this point, I can plug this in for X and this in for Y? So instead of Y, I can put 5 in it because I know this is a point on the line. Instead of X, I can put times -2 because I know that's an X value on the line. Well, what did I create? An equation that I can find the y-intercept. So we solve for B. Well, what's an easier way of saying -3 times -2? 6. And what would you do now to get B by itself?
Subtract 6.
Subtract 6 from both sides. And B is -1. So using the point I was given, I was able to find the y-intercept. Now that I've got these two things, I can write the equation of the line. Y equals slope -3x. I now know that B is -1. And we're done. Okay? So how do you find the equation of a line? Well, if you're given the slope and y-intercept, it's easy. You just plug those numbers into y equals mx plus b. Sometimes you may have to find the slope first. Sometimes you may have to find the y-intercept like we just did here. Okay, so all I want to do is go through a few scenarios where you're going to have to find the slope and or y-intercept. So let's look at this one. Whenever I find the equation of a line, I keep saying to myself, okay, I need two things, m and b. I need m and b. Am I given m, or do I have to figure it out? You're given. It's 1/5. That's easy. So we're halfway there. Am I given the y-intercept, or do I have to figure it out? I have to figure it out using this. What would you plug in for y? -1, because that's a y value on the line. Instead of m? Nope. Instead of m?
1/5.
1/5, that's okay. Times 4. And this is what I'm trying to find. Well, what is 1/5 times 4? 4/5. I got a fraction equation. I hate fractions. I want to get rid of them as fast as possible. What would you do to get rid of the fractions in this equation? Multiply by 5. Multiply by the denominator. So 5 times -1 is -5. 5 divide 5, cancel each other out. So I'm left with 4 plus 5b. Now solve for b. What would you do next? Sorry?
4.
Yeah, since the b's over here, let's take this over here. So let's subtract 4 from both sides and get -9 equals 5b. And then do what? Divide both sides by 5. That doesn't divide cleanly, so leave it as a fraction. So I found b. I already know m. Now I'm ready to put those into my final equation, in that final equation. What would it look like? Y equals 1/5 x.
Minus 9.
Perfect. Same thing every time. It's just that some of the questions may be a little different. Like I said, you may be able to just write the slope or y-intercept, or you may have to figure them out. Any questions so far? Okay. Here's another example. We're asked to find the equation of a line. And all we're given is its graph. Well, remember the two things you need to find. M. Well, I'm not given M. How would you figure it out? Yeah, just pick these 2 points and do rise over run. So from this point, I rise 3, so that's +3. And I run 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's +4. So the slope is 3/4. It's the y-intercept that takes a little bit of algebra to figure out. So here's actually the y-intercept. But I don't know what that number is. It's -1 and something. I can't read exactly what it is. If it passed right through here, that would be easy. I could just say it's -1. But it's not. It's some fraction. So I got to use algebra to figure it out. So I'm going to use this. I already know n is 3/4. Do you know a point on the line? Yeah, actually, you know two of them. Here and here. What point is this? What coordinate is this? 3, 1. So instead of y, I know that this y is on the line, so I can plug in 1. Instead of x, I know that this x value is on the line, so I can plug in 3. And I just created an equation that I can solve b. Let's get rid of this multiplication. This times this. 3/4 times 3.
9/4.
9/4.
Plus B.
Plus b. I got a fraction I want to get rid of. Times everything by 4 to clear out the fraction. So 4 times 1 is 4. Times 4 divide 4, cancel each other out, so I'm left with 9. Plus 4 times b is 4b. Now get b by itself. Well, b is already on the right, so let's take everything over to the left. So subtract 9 from both sides. And I get -5 is equal to 4b. And then what do I do? Divide both sides by 4. So b is equal to -5/4. M we already got by counting on the graph is 3/4. So what would my equation look like? Y equals 3/4 x.
Plus -5/4.
Yeah, and plus negative is just the same as negative. Okay. But again, you see that we're doing the same thing every time. Okay, I'm going to do one more example and then we're going to stop for today. Do the rest of, I'm going to do the final example on Wednesday. Because I want you to get some practice with this. So again, once I see a question like this, I'm saying to myself, M and B. So we're asked to find the equation of a line that goes through these 2 points. Am I given the slope? No, but can I figure it out?
No.
Yeah, can't we? If we know 2 points, can't we use the slope formula? So we don't know the slope, but we can figure it out. Remember, this is the slope formula. So I'll just call this first x, first y, second x, second y. So -2 subtract -3. And that would be the same as plus. Over second x -1 minus first x 6. And what is -2 plus 3? 1. And -1 subtract 6. So my slope is -1/7. Why is this here? Whoa. Stop it. There. Anyway. Okay, so we're halfway there. For B, we're not given the y-intercept, but we can figure it out using y equals mx plus b. Well, I know the slope is -1/7, because I just found that. What would you plug in for x and y? A point that's on the line. Well, you actually know 2 points, don't you? So it doesn't matter which one you use, pick one. I like to pick one that has positives in it, because I find them easier to work with. So what's the y value of this point? So that goes here. Times, what's the x value of this point? 6. Plus b. And now, notice we keep doing the same algebra when we find b. We multiply these two together, then we clear out the fraction, and then we solve for b. So what is -1/7 times 6? -6/7. What are you going to do next? Times everything by 7 to get that fraction out of there. So I get -21 times 7 divide 7, cancel each other out. So I'm left with -6, and 7 times b is 7b. So the b's already here, so let's add 6. Move the 6 over, and we get -15 is equal to 7b. Divide both sides by 7, and we get b is equal to -15 . There's the 2 pieces of information we need. So what does my equation look like now that I know m and b?
-1/7 times -15/7.
Right. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to stop there.